Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Radio Silent Play. I am your moderator for today on March 22nd, 2015. Let me start off by saying I am not a financial advisor. Please do your own due diligence before trading any stocks and options. Trading stocks and options require lots of risk. I just want to thank everybody. We got people, so we're kind of growing. I know we haven't done too many of these. If I don't get enough people, I'm probably gonna do maybe one or two every month. So the more activity we get, the better it is for us. So I just want to thank traders. I know it's pretty late; it's on a Sunday, but I think before the week's market, I think it's a good opportunity for us to kind of seize the moment and look at what stocks are actually going to be in play. Um, I'm gonna go over. I know some of you guys kind of just trade the OTCs, but what I usually do is I go over what the overall market is doing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go over a couple of things. We started updating the daily market report. The daily market is free. So for traders that or for newcomers, what we do is pretty much from Sunday to the end of the day on Friday, we do a recap of what the markets are doing. So you can download the app, and this is absolutely free. You can actually click on it, and then it'll show you what we're looking at in regards to SPY, the IWM, and also small caps and OTCs. So some of the stocks that I mentioned, they're not just quick buys, ins and outs. It gives an opportunity to actually accumulate the stock, and it gives levels and also re-entry levels. So some of the stocks that we've traded before, they just don't fizzle out. For the most part, they'll actually pull back, give opportunities for re-entries, and the stocks end up usually trading multiple times. So I just want traders to kind of understand that the gist of that. If you're not getting into these stocks at the entry levels that you want, you could always wait for that pullback. I know some stocks are sometimes illiquid, but for the most part, some of the stocks that we choose, you know, are liquid, and sometimes we give opportunity to re-enter the stocks. Stocks like VOIS gave an opportunity to trade that multiple times. We're seeing that with MCGI and SMVR. I don't know if you guys are too accustomed with the trades now, but I just want traders to understand that NQ, a small cap, it gave an opportunity to enter the stock at lows, and it triggered at I believe at 380, pulled back down to 340, and hit a high of 417. Now it's pulling back level for a re-entry level. So I just want traders to understand that looking at this market overview, looking at the levels, it's always good to re-enter these stocks. You don't necessarily have to look for just a specific buy zone entry. Sometimes what happens is a lot of guys just want to buy at a certain level, and then they just stick to that level, and then they don't see the stock posting higher lows, and then they fear getting into the stock. As long as you set your parameters, it doesn't have to be necessarily the parameters that I'm giving you, but the parameters that you adjust based on what you're looking at. If we're seeing higher lows on, let's say, a PGCX, the stock posted a low of 0007. Not many people got in at 7 or 8. Now we're at a probability to trade from 9 to 11. That means that you can readjust your patterns or your parameters from 9 to 11 with a stop close below 9. You know what I mean? So you don't have to necessarily worry about trying to get that ultimate bottom, because sometimes these stocks are very difficult to do that. We're talking about options, small caps. You kind of trade them along the way, and that's why I mentioned scale into trades. Sometimes scaling into a trade, adding a partial or adding a starter, adding some on the dip or adding some, when the stock is moving up, it's good, because now what you're doing is you're averaging, and you're grabbing a good amount of shares to sell into profit. Okay. So I just want traders to understand that concept. Don't fear, to take a little risk. Sometimes what happens, some of these stocks pull back. Like, let's say the FCGD. We sent that on a free mobile app at 10, pulled back all the way down to 6. We re-alerted it. It tapped the 5s, and then before you know it hit a high of 18. So these stocks sometimes, they have a mind of their own. Sometimes they can pull back all the way and then, post a solid gain. So I just want traders to kind of, understand that level. Have a notebook handy, write down, your parameters, see where you want to get into these stocks. Okay. So I'm gonna move on to the big boards right now. Last week was a great trading week for the small caps, also the big boards. We saw the SPY rally from that 205 level that we gave. That 205 level held. We saw a low on the S&P as low as 204.50. Then we traded that higher. Now what we're looking at is that 207.70 to 208.40 on a pullback. I really think that the SPY will test 212 and potentially break that 212 level. So that S&P 500, what we're looking at, and I'm gonna kind of touch a little bit more on that later on, because that's actually one of our option triggers. We're looking at that 207, 208 level, and that's the 20-day moving average there. Okay, so we're looking at, the markets right now. The U.S. dollar is a little weaker. Okay, it's pulling back. Whenever you have a weaker dollar, you have a move higher in the equities. Remember, the U.S. dollar works inverse to what the markets do. Okay, so I want traders to keep an eye on the SPY into next week. The IWM posted a very beautiful entry. It gave an opportunity to add from the 119.50 to 120 levels. Okay, we did manage to hit that potential target at 125, hitting that 126.16. Now, we're kind of getting ready to hit that resistance levels. I put here a pivot high to pivot 2. Okay, so you connect the pivot high from 1 back in November to this 2 level here in January. We're looking at 2 to 3% move on the IWM. So watch that kiss of that 128 level. If you kiss that 128 level, I think that we can go and grab some short for a short term short pullback, all right, down to that 124, 122 level. So I want traders to just keep an eye on that IWM. IWM is the strongest ETF, or the strongest, pretty much the strongest chart in the markets right now. But what we want to make sure is understand that when you start hitting that upper trend level, usually you get a nice pullback for traders to start accumulating on the pullback. So just watch the IWM. That 128 kiss would probably be a good range to start picking up either the TZA or IWM short for some puts. StockTix asked if we traded the Tesla. We did. We started accumulating Tesla from 185 to 190. It ended up hitting a high of 200. It was a nice move on the TSLA. I believe Tango traded that a couple of times. A couple of us traded the stock. Right now, I got to look at the chart, see where our support levels are now. But it was just a considerable move on that pullback. It's just hard to believe that it came down all the way down to that 185 level. So it's just a nice move overall. USO, you're seeing the USO pull back. Okay, I still think that we're in a short-term bull mode. I know it's the contrarian, pretty much the opposite of what people are saying. I think that we're going to see a short-term bounce on the USO. We saw RIG bounce off that 13 level beautifully, hit a high of 15. Okay, hit a target of 1549 with a potential move up here to that 16 level. So if you notice, stocks like RIG, stocks like SDRL, Seadrill, they're all bouncing while the USO is holding that 52-week low level. So that's what you call divergence. Whenever you see these oil stocks or these energy stocks start bouncing and the USO is stagnant, okay, you're seeing a little bit of divergence. So whenever these oil stocks are bouncing, just look for a short-term bounce on the USO. I know the USO pulled back low. I think it hit a low of 1540. Then it hit a high of 1670, 1680. That was a nice 4 or 5% move. But I want traders to just keep an eye on the USO. If it breaks below 1540 in 2 consecutive closes, you can stop out of the USO. So just keep an eye on that short-term bounce on the USO. GLD had a very nice move off that 110 level that we gave. Okay, the GLD gave an entry at 110.15. It ended up hitting 112, and right now it's trading at 113. Okay, looking for that target two of 115. Okay, we've traded the small caps pretty well. ANSI pulled back down to a low of 70. I believe it hit a low of 69 cents, and it ended up hitting a high of 87 cents for like a 17, 18% move. The NETE pulled back down to 110. Okay, hit a high of 123 for a 13% gain. So that was pretty solid move. AKS is still trading and holding this bottom trend line. So I feel that this stock will eventually trade from $5 to $6. So just keep an eye. Again, if the stock closes below that $3.60 range, just ensure to stop out. You don't want to hold these stocks and then have them break down on you. Okay, the NQ was a stock that I really liked. I ended up buying it a little bit higher at 380. Still sold it up in that 410 range, but then it pulled back down to this 340 range and then hitting that 417 range. So it was a nice move. It's still holding this bullish inside flag pattern. So once this stock breaks below 350 on two consecutive closes, I would look to stop out. Hopefully it can bounce off this $3.50. So watch that $3.50 range if you guys want to re-enter that stock. Okay, this stock NQ used to trade up at $21 before. So this could be a longer term stock for some of you traders. Okay, BLRX, okay, bounced nice off that 165 level. Okay, or 186 level, I'm sorry. 186, it bounced. Now we're looking for this BLRX to test this $3 range. Okay, I posted a video here from last week, so if you guys haven't seen the video from last week, a lot of good information there. I'm going to go over a couple of OTC stocks. Sorry for moving a little bit too quick. I just want to kind of like just show you what the market overview will be. DLIQ, a lot of traders were talking about it on the Twitter. I took a look at the chart. I was looking at the fib retrace level down to that 0.005 level. I posted an entry at 675. It hit a high of 0.01. Okay, that was a nice rally. Watch for the stock to consolidate here, possibly set a bull flag pattern for a push higher. I think the high on this stock was at 0.018, so you could see that retest. So we saw that the same move on the CSNG, could see similar move here on the DLIAQ. So just keep that on radar. I know StockTix was talking about IGRW. He nailed it. Off his referral, I looked at it. It had a huge bid at 0008. I looked at the stock, kind of pulled back below it, 0006. A little scary, but the stock ended up bouncing beautifully up to 15. Now watch for some consolidation there. Let it hold above 10. A close above 13 on two consecutive closes should show a bullish reversal. So just keep that in mind. The FCGD, another stock, we sent it out at 10, but ended up pulling back as low as 0005. A little scary. We talked about the high risk involved. Okay, gave an entry at 0006 and then hit a high of 18. Now consolidating. I think the share structure, I believe, is somewhere from I don't know if it's 2 billion or 5 billion authorized shares. So you just want to make sure that you keep an eye on that level too. Okay. Another stock that's been holding pretty well, hasn't broken down, but had a nice move is the MNZO. Watch that stop close below 12 on two consecutive closes, then you will see the stock break down. If you guys are still in it, just watch the level 2 support. This is the CSNG that we were talking about. The stock was being pushed, hit a high 0.05. We were talking about that bullish inside flag pattern. We said enter between 0.01, 0.014, hit a high, low actually of 0.009, and then rallied up to 0.02. So that was a nice move. Okay. That's pretty much it. So every week what I'm going to do is I'm going to post these updates so you guys, free members, can get a look at what we do here. You guys are one of the better traders in the market, I think, and I just think that it just gives opportunity for more eyes to start joining. There have been people joining up, so anytime you guys can refer somebody, it's always good because it actually brings a little bit more liquidity and leverage into our stock. So I want you guys to kind of like help push the levels too. You know, if we get more members, okay, we're going to get more eyes on the stocks that we pick and choose. Okay, the TLT was a little tough on us. Okay, it's still in a bear flag. Okay, the TLT is the 20-year treasuries. They were talking about raising interest rates. The federal chairman used the word patience. It actually panicked the markets. I don't know why the TLT didn't break lower. Okay, because usually what if the interest rates get raised, then the TLT goes higher. It didn't, but yet the TLT is on the verge of breaking these levels. So if you do get a close above that 133, then you may test that 138 level again. Okay, so stop out. I know for the previous trade we did stop out, but what I am looking at now is 131.70 to 132 for puts. Okay, it's still holding a bit of resistance here above this 50-day moving average. If it breaks below 130.22, I do feel this is going to test that 125 level. So just keep an eye on the TLT. I think that there's weakness in the TLT. If the markets go higher, I believe the TLT will work inverse to what the markets do. There's more money going into the S&P, Nasdaq, and also the IWM. I think the TLT will pull back. Again, just keep an eye on the TLT. The GLD, okay, bounced off this bottom trend line here. Okay, it is still in a bearish downtrend, but at the same time, it's hitting this support level. So watch this for a 116 potential hit. Okay, we talked about that 109.50 to 110 level. Okay, we did manage to hit that 112 target. Now our target 2 is 115. If you're still in the trade, ensure that you move your stops up to break even. What I mean by break even is if you bought this at 110, okay, 15 or 110.50 or 111, that means if the stock hits 111, you stop out, okay, for a break even, okay, because gold is still volatile, okay. I'm looking at the silver as well, a nice bounce on the silver, okay. Silver, we talked about that 14.20, okay, it did hit our potential target at 16. The traders that took that silver trade, it was a beautiful trade, okay. Apple, holding that uptrend, okay. I'm looking at that 116.70 to 117 pullback here. We had a little bit of a topping tail here, okay. Lower highs. So watch this 117, 116 level for a possible entry on calls, okay. Apple, they switched it over. Now they're trading in a different market than not a Nasdaq stock. So just watch the Apple. If it does test that 116.70, 117, it could be a good buy range. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to the setups. I'm going to go over the options real quick. I apologize for going a little bit too quickly. I know we're a little bit on limited time, so I just want to go through this as quick as possible. Right after, I'll answer some of your questions. Some of you guys that haven't traded options, if you want to do a one-on-one or you want to join the options group on chat, just keep me informed and I'll put you on and we'll help you set your options account up. We'll show you what you need to do to actually register for options accounts, and we'll show you how easy it is to actually put in an order on options. If you trade OTCs, it's a similar risk. Okay, they are risky, but at the same time, I think the way we trade them pretty safely. So I'm not being biased. I just think that we're a little bit more diligent on entry. Okay, so we're looking at the SPY, as I mentioned. Okay, taking this pivot low here, we're setting up a nice trend here on the SPY. I do feel that we're going to test that 112.27 to 112.60 level. So any pullback down to the 207.80 to 208.50, okay, that's a buy. Okay, so my short-term scalp will be April 17 calls to 210 or 212, depending on the delta, all right? If it does trigger, okay, I will send it out via RSP Premium Twitter. I may send it out through SMS, okay? Or not SMS, but the mobile app. Okay, our target 1 is going to be a target 1 of 210. Our target 2 is going to be a short-term target of 212. Our stop close is going to be a close below 207 on 2 consecutive closes. Now, if it does close below 207 2 times, okay, our next support is going to be 205.60, okay, and after that 204.50. So write those numbers down. Okay, if we do close below 207 2 times, our next support is going to be 205.60. After that is going to be 204.30. Okay. If it closes below 204.30, then we're looking at that 203.90 level. Okay. So those are the levels. Okay. The next trade that we're looking at actually triggered last week is CINA. Okay. CINA is trading here and posting a little bit of a reversal pattern here. Okay, if we do close below that 32 on 2 consecutive closes, that will be a stop out. Okay, I just want to show you guys something. We talk about triggered pulses. Okay, back in October, this had a triggered pulse. Okay, it flipped, and then we saw the market post a bottom here and then rally. Same thing here, it flipped, posted a rally. Over here, same thing, flipped, posted a rally, and right here, if you look at it, okay, it's looking to start making that flip. Okay, so just watch that 32 level. I think that if the stock holds that 32 level, it's going to be a good buy zone opportunity for that potential 36 test. Okay, and that should be a good level to actually buy these CINAs. If you want to look at those April 17, okay, those are the ones that triggered last week. You want to go a little bit later out, you can do that as well. Okay, Pepsi was a stock that we actually shorted last week. It had a good move down to that 92 level. Okay, PEP right now, what I'm looking at, it did have this bullish reversal candle here. Okay, and the stock never confirmed below that 94 level. Okay, so what we're looking at here is an entry at 93.70 to 94.40. Okay, why is that? If you connect these pivot lows right now, okay, you're seeing these higher lows. Okay, we have yet to close, okay, below that 94 level. So I'm thinking that we're going to test this 96.70 to 97 level. Okay, that's about $2-3 off. So I'm looking at any opportunity to enter between 93.70 to 94.60. My target 1 is going to be 95.40 and a target 2 of 96.40. If we close above that, I would not be surprised if this thing tests that 98.99 level. Okay, so just keep an eye on the PEP here because it never confirmed, and you had this bullish reversal here, this candle, and this signals a potential reversal here. Okay, so moving on to small caps. Okay, moving on to small caps. We got a couple of small caps here for you guys. We had a couple of good small caps trigger last week, and we're looking at some now. Okay, so the EXXI, what I liked about this stock is that it did close and confirm above this $3.50 range on 2 consecutive closes. So that means that you have a reversal intact. You had a bullish reversal candle here. Okay, so I'm looking for any pullback down to that 330. Remember, these are just reference points. This may not touch 330. So watch that $3.50 range. Okay, if it pulls back, I think that 350 to 355 is optimum. If it does hit that, I would not be surprised this stock hits potential of $4.30 to $5. Okay, remember, whenever you trade these stocks, you have to put in a little bit more cash, but a move up to about $4.30, you could see a sizable profit gain here on the EXXI. Okay, these energy stocks are catching a bid, so you just want to make sure that you keep an eye on these. Okay, RNN, if you look at here, okay, you had this stock looked like it was going to break this trend line. Okay, it didn't. It was a failed move. This is what I call kissing this level. Okay, what I call it kissing the level goodbye. Now watch the entry from 70 to 73. If we do, okay, we got a potential target of that 85 to 94 level. Okay, so I like this level here. Okay, any pullback down to this bottom of the trend line should be a good buy zone here on the RNN. Okay, for the next stock, VGGL. Okay, this was a stock that posted a little bit of bullish reversal here at $1.45. Okay, then closed above this 20-day moving average. Okay, watch any move back to this retrace at 145 to 155 level. If it does, I think that we're going to test this 50-day moving average here at $2.08. Okay, that's a pretty sizable move from this level. Okay. Another stock that we were looking at is Plug, PLUG. Okay, and this bottom of this trend line, okay, failed it. Okay, and now the stock is bouncing higher. Okay, so I like any retrace down to this $2.50 to $2.60 range. If it does, Okay, this has a potential target of this $3 to $3.30 range. Okay, so plug. Okay, keep an eye on it. If the stock pulls back to 250, 260, I think that's a good buy zone area for the PLUG. Okay, that's pretty much the small caps. Remember, if you are trading small caps, you're going to require to put in a couple of more dollars into the stocks. The good things about the small caps is you don't really have to network these stocks. These stocks pretty much trade on their own, so they do well off those trend lines. Okay, moving on to OTC, the weekly watch list. Okay, got a couple of stocks. We have a couple of stocks because there's a lot of bottom stocks. I started noticing the trend on these reverse split stocks, and I posted a couple of stocks that we had in the past that were seeing considerable volume. Okay, I'm gonna go over a couple, but remember, I want you guys to write it down in your notebooks. Okay, if you want to set your E-Trade alerts, if the stock prices trigger or hit that price that you want to get in, then do that. If you want to place your bids now, you can do that as well. EDCP is RSI is at 1990. Okay, so this is completely oversold. He had a big drop. Okay, one of the members sent me information that they had late filings, and in the filings you had the toxic financing was done. So you had a little bit of a jump on the stock, hit a high of 16, but closed at 13 still. Okay, a green volume day on the ECDP. So that 0.001, which we call the probability level, is a potential for this stock to bounce. Okay, if you see a good support level here on the ECDP from 1 to 13, okay, you can look to grab a starter. Okay, if the stock breaks below a certain level, okay, you can look to actually add a little more. So now, how would I approach this stock? Okay, if I'm approaching this stock, I want to buy somewhere near to that 0.001 level. Okay, because buying at 0.0013, now you're taking on a 30% risk. Okay, so if I'm putting in $500, $600, maybe I just want to add 30% starter on the ask, just to make sure if this stock rallies to 21 or 25 that I don't miss out. Okay, and then the rest, maybe bid some at 0009 or 10. Okay, so maybe throw in $300, $400 on the ask, and then on the rest, $300, $400 at 0.001 in case it pulls back. Okay, so you just want to always understand that sometimes you may not be able to catch these stocks at the ultimate bottom, and that's what I was trying to explain to some members. Okay, you want to make sure that if you're going to enter a stock, you understand what your risk management is. If I'm buying ECDP, okay, and I see a huge bid at 0.0011, okay, over 10, 20 million bid, then I'm going to add some on the ask. Okay, I may add a 30% starter of my intended investment. So if I'm looking to invest $600, $700, maybe I'll take $300 and I'll add on the ask. And I'm just using reference numbers so you can understand. And then maybe at 0.001 or 0.0011, I may put a bid of $300 there, just in case. Okay, so this is a stock that we're looking for a pivot break of that 17. It posted a high of 16, so we want to go maybe one tick above it, okay, for a close above that 17 level. If we close above 17, now we see, okay, the bottom is in. If it confirms above 16 on 2 consecutive closes, now we know that that bottom is in, and we have a potential target of 20, 21 to about 33, and a potential move up to 44, depending on how thin this stock is. So these are the levels that you want to keep in mind for this stock. Okay, the next one is BRWC. This is a stock that actually triggered last week. I noticed that there was some selling into the stock. You had some M's, but what I noticed here is you had a bullish reversal candle. Now, what does a bullish reversal candle mean? It means that it hits a low, okay, and it closes above 50% of the move from its low. Okay, so it hit a low of 0009. It closed at 14. That's 50%. Okay, so we're looking at a bullish reversal candle here. Now, if we close above 14 or at 14 on 2 consecutive closes, now we know that the buyers are in, okay, and they're looking to support the stock for it to not close below 0009. So that means that you get a bottom confirmation. Now, if you look at this stock back in 2014, plenty of times it traded from 40 range up to this 0.03 level. Okay, so it hit that 40 range, hit 0.03 level. hit that 40 range, hit 0.03 level. Okay, hit this 0.005 level, then hit that 0.02 level. Okay, so this is a pattern trade. Now you guys can buy this at 0.001 levels. Okay, so I do feel that this is a longer term type play. Okay, you do have authorized shares of 1.5 billion, which I believe is not that much. Float is just 113 million, and outstanding shares is 870 million. Okay, in the filings they're talking about, or in their revenues, they're talking about 2 million in revenues. BRWC, water company. So this is a stock that I think has potential. Okay, you always want to trade the stock on the way up, but I do feel that holding some of these shares into longer term could play out to be a 0.01, 0.02 type stock. So if you want to ride for these shares, you can do so. Okay, and this is a weekly chart that I gave you guys, and then a daily chart. Okay, the next one is SHOM, SHOM. This is a stock that we've traded before. Right now, this stock is trading right here at this probability trade. Okay, SHOM, the stock is testing new lows, broke that 0.0012, 52-week low support, now at that 0.001 mental support. Now watch that 0008 to 11 probability ranges. Okay, so many times these stocks rally from that level, and we're kind of like used to it because it's a low risk probability trade. Because if the stock breaks below 8 and we're in at 10, we're only losing like about 20% of our money. So the share structure, authorized shares is 500 million. The float's 205 million. You had some MNs on this stock. Okay, I did notice a couple of MNs. So just keep an eye on that level 2. I will update it just in case, but just keep an eye on that level 2. If you see that there's some selling into the bid, maybe you want to bid a little lower. Okay, the next stock is a stock that I feel longer term, it's a great stock. Okay, the stock, when we mentioned it, pulled back. I believe it gave an entry at 0.0024 to 26, then rallied and hit a high of 0.006 on IPO news. Okay, since then, the stock has pulled back. Okay, this is a stock that I posted on the weekly watch list about a month ago. Okay, and now the stock is right back to the buy zones. I do feel this stock has the potential to hit 0.014 to 0.033. Okay, I remember talking a little bit about AMEX, AMMX. We talked a little about SMVR. I think this is that type of a stock. Okay, the stock has low share structures, and it posted some pretty decent news. 33 million outstanding shares and 500 million authorized shares as of January 7, 2015. Okay, I think that this stock is in a buy zone. Okay, the stock is posting higher lows. Okay, and holding. Okay, the stock is very thin on the level 2. Okay, I think adding between the 25 to 35 is optimum. I think that we'll see a break of that 0.0049 level, and then that potential break of 0.009. If we break 0.009, that's the path to least resistance. I think that we'll see this stock hit this 100-day moving average at 0.028. Okay, I think that this stock has a good story to it. The stock traded from 25 to 6 on the last run on the IPO news, and now back to that bottom of the trend line. This is a low share structure stock that with any buy pressure can retest that previous pivot high. Watch that 0.006 break. That was the high that it did. Couldn't manage to close above it. It had a little bit of a sugar rush. If it does pass this, it could really see a high of 0.013 to 0.033. Okay. But seeing the SS and also the level 2 with the recent news could be a good potential long play. What I mean from a long play is if you guys want to accumulate shares here from 25 to 35, you can do so. Okay. Anytime it pulls back to 25 to 35, you can add it. Okay. And then possibly hold it for a longer term play. I think this stock has the potential to go up to 0.01, 0.02. This is the type of stock that you don't have to really worry too much about. Now, if the stock closes below 0.002 or 0.0024, which is your stop on 2 consecutive closes, then you could kind of get out and then look where you can find for that bottom. I still think that this stock has the potential to move higher, all right? So we had news through subsidiary Global Equity Partners PLC to assist Limited with a 48 million pre-IPO funding round market news. And that was the news that it posted. Okay, I posted the news here and you guys can actually look at it. Okay, so that is the setup on the GEQU. Okay, another one is PGCX. I like PGCX. I never gave up on it. It did hit a low of 0007 and held. Huge support came in. You see this huge accumulation and distribution here on the PGCX. Late into buying, I'm looking at my level 2. I still have it on the radar. We had 19 million shares traded towards the end of the day. You had nines hit and then 0.0011 up at the end of the day, right at the bell. So I think the PGCX has a good opportunity to move higher. I think that we'll see the stock at some point trading between 0.003 to 0.006. I just think that this is that type of a stock. You know, sometimes these stocks can pull back, okay, and sometimes traders just don't like to hold stocks for longer terms. But I do feel that this PGCX will have its time. And I think that this time could be now, right? The PGCX 0008 to 11 will be a good buy zone. Pivot is a pivot break above 13 on 2 consecutive closes. And watch that close below 8 2 times, okay? The next stocks that I mentioned, post-reverse splits are the trend. Okay, we're looking at the stock in a W pattern. Is the DIRVD. Okay, a stock that we traded before. Since then, now a reverse split. I didn't mention anything about dropping the D. I know that some brokers may not allow you to buy these stocks. Okay, the stock is coming off a bottom of 15, closed at 25, high of the day. I think the stock has the potential to probably break that 33 level and maybe test that 63 level. Okay, so this could be a nice scalp stock here. Okay, sometimes you guys can't buy the stock or you may have to call it in. So just call your brokers or just figure out if you can buy this before you do buy it. Because sometimes you'll buy it and then you can't sell it. So just want to make sure that you guys keep an eye on these post-reverse split stocks. FFC is another. Okay, the stock is holding this bottom as you're looking at. This is three days worth of buying here from 18 to 25. So watch that 18 to 25 buy zone. If the stock closes below 15 on 2 consecutive closes, I would stop out. And then that next support is that 50 to 61% retrace at 0.001 to 0.0012. Okay, so that's pretty much it. That's all the stocks that I do have for you there. I also have the MCGI. I still think the MCGI is a good buy. If the stock pulls back to 226, I think that we'll test that 46 level again. Okay, I wouldn't be surprised if the stock hits 0.008 to 0.01. MCGI trades really, really thin. Another one is, give me a second, is the VOIS. You're looking at this bullish inside flag pattern. Okay, any pullback down to 1825, if it can get there, okay, would be a beautiful buy. I think if the stock closes below 18, you can stop out. The LVVV, some traders were talking about it here. Watch this double bottom here on the LVVV. I don't know if it's a potential reverse split stock. You want to actually do your homework, but just keep an eye on that. Another one is a GNPT. Okay, this was a stock that we sent out a couple of weeks ago, and it did trigger at that 23 level. Since then, hit a high of 33, 35 level. But pretty good move off the entry. But now watch this accumulation here at the bottoms. Okay, that's pretty much it. I will answer your questions now. Okay, I am playing Tesla in and out. Lily stock ticks doing well. TVIX looking like a nice long off this buy pop this week. I think the TVIX is a good buy. I just think that the markets are a little strong. The TVIX works pretty much inverse to what the markets do. Okay, I posted a little bit of a little tail here, but at the same time, the markets are a little tough. They're trading a little stronger. But if you want to kind of look at the TVIX, I know I posted this before and we actually stopped out. I was thinking that we were going to see the TVIX, but since then it couldn't really hold. So you want to look at the TVIX, maybe look at that $1.50, $1.60 range for a pullback if it does get there. But just make sure that you use your stops if you are getting into the TVIX. Remember, that works inverse to what the markets do. Okay, you play an option. Nice play, guys. To all new members, I trade OTC and options on the side. RSP is the place to be if you want to make money. Thanks, Tango. I mean, Tango's always putting in good information on options. I think for the most part, we just needed to get that that strategy down. I think now we're getting a little bit of a balance on the options small caps with the added mobile app. Now we can send out the option setups. I like the group me a lot because on the group me, as soon as I see a stock trade or actually trigger, boom, I throw the chart on the group me chat room, and then you guys can all see what I'm seeing. So I think traders kind of get a little bit more confident looking at that chart and actually seeing it play out. So I think Tango is part of why we're doing well in the options. He's a good teacher as well. Any news or any information or help that you guys want, I think Tango knows his stuff. A couple of other guys on the chat room are really good. Um, Mike Jones is getting really good on stocks. So just have a good team. I think we're growing in the stocks on the options world. So I think we're gonna have a good year with options. Okay, good stuff. Any stocks that you guys want to mention? Just let me know if you guys want to post on a stock now. I know stock ticks. A couple of you guys have your watch list as well. I'm always, when I get a chance, I take a look at your watch list. It's not that I'm stealing your information, but you guys are getting really good at this stuff. So keep up the good networks. It's always good. I'm not pretty much a competitor here. I just like for all of us to do well. So I want traders to understand that we're all working as a team. I think that networking is part of trading. I think teamwork is what makes traders better. So always continue doing that. If you have a good following on Twitter, if you have a good following on iHub, you don't necessarily have to say, hey, trade with RSP, but work together in tandem. It's good to get these trades out there so traders can see what we see. And when they start seeing what we see, we actually see more liquidity, more leverage on our plays, and that's what actually makes traders successful. I think what happens is for so many is that ego starts kicking in, and some traders just want to be right, and I'm not like that. I'm humbled, whenever I get an opportunity to put out a stock, I may post what the stock did, I may post where we entered, where we got out, just so traders can see what we do, and it's not only what I'm seeing, because you guys are the ones that are trading these stocks. For the most part, you guys are the ones that are networking. You guys are the ones that are hitting the iHub boards and the chat rooms. Right now I'm only in one chat room. I have the options chat room, I have the Skype chat room, and then I have the GroupMe chat room, but it's all radio silent play. So, you know, working together in tandem, if we're working secretly or you're putting out a blog, this is always good. I see guys like have really matured and gotten better. Honest Penny, I see Stock Ticks. Who else do I see posting a couple of things? A lot of you guys on iHub, GM Tech posting some stuff. IJJP, what a great trade that was. So this is all a good thing, and I just want traders to understand that, I'm very privileged to have just a great team, and just a great set of followers here. So remember, if you guys always ever branch out, that's what we want. This is pretty much middle school for you guys. Sometimes you gotta get that little bit of education, and then you guys progress and evolve as traders. So, I just want traders to understand that, I really appreciate the hard work and dedication you guys have towards your craft. Okay, with that said, I will see you guys tomorrow. I will post this on YouTube, probably not Tuesday, but maybe Wednesday, so we get a nice accumulation in these stocks if we do get in. If these stocks trigger, I will post them on RSP Premium Twitter. So just keep an eye on the RSP Premium Twitter. Okay. Thanks a lot, guys. And then, well, PGM is talking about ERAO. ERAO. Take a look at ERAO. Okay, so ERAO, not much volume, but it is beating down stock here at this range. I think the ERAO, okay, you got a bit of a reversal tail here, okay, but not much volume. There was anemic volume here. But if you are getting into this stock, okay, you want to kind of look at the level two, see what the the bid ask what is. PGM, did you see what the ask, the bids were on this? Is it pretty, is there a big spread on it? Okay, so ERAO float is 14 million. That's December 11, 2015. So the spread may be crazy here, as StockTix is mentioning. So this is a stock that, could be really, really thin. This is the type of stock that maybe you can group play it. I don't know if many traders could get in on it. If you do get this stock, okay, you may be able to actually work maybe a group play out, but majority of your shares are going to probably be around this range, which is going to be at this 0.006 to 0.009 level. So this is where maybe your shares will be. This is probably down on low volume. Your biggest volume here was this day on March, okay, and this was added from 3.8 to about 5. So if you guys want to add this, okay, maybe go longer term, maybe you guys can enter from 3 to 4.5, okay, because there may not be that many shares down here because you're seeing anemic volume. Your biggest volume was here, okay, so these are traders that added from, let me just check. These guys added, okay, from 38 to 53. So if you guys want to look to add this stock, I think that this 38 to 50, these guys may be, if they don't see anybody buying this stock, they may be selling into the bid. Okay, so maybe a bid from 4, maybe 0.0035 to 0.0045 may be a good buy zone in this range, and then just hold the stock for a potential move to 0.015. If you guys decide to group play it. Okay, so R&M just posted 157,000 shares. I'm sorry, 157,000 shares. So it's probably really, really thin. If you guys do decide to buy this, maybe just buy some, like maybe buy 100, 200,000 shares, or maybe 100,000 shares and maybe trade it up to 0.015. This may be a stock that you guys may be able to group play yourselves and maybe break this this channel over here at 0.0047, maybe trade it up to 0.009 and maybe get traders to start buying into the stock. Yeah, R&M said it could be a good fun lotto. I agree. I mean, if you could put in maybe like 100, 200 bucks on this and just hold it, and then the stock hits a 0.015, 0.002, it's a nice move. You get about a grand there, so it could be good if maybe you ever get a promo on it. Any other stocks that you guys want to talk about? If not, we're going to cut it short. I know it's 11:09. Okay, great. All right, R&M says thanks. I want to thank everybody again. I hope that we can do these every week, okay? Because I think that it's important for traders to actually see what we're doing and what we're looking at. So Sunday nights, what I'll do is probably Friday, I'll ask guys if you guys want to do the meeting. You guys are up to it, and then we'll move ahead with the meeting. All right, guys, have a good night, and I'll see you tomorrow on the day's training. Take care.